Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to our Mods of the Week Spotlight series for Jurassic World Evolution 2. And I say Mods of the Week, it's Mod of the Week. There really were no mods this week at all, but there was one incredible mod that would have been a standout on any other week anyway, and that's what we're going to check out today. You may recognise this park. This is Biodome Park. I thought we'd have a little dose of nostalgia from one of the earlier parks we did in Jurassic World Evolution 2. All these varied biodomes with all the different environments and stuff like that, knocking around. Have a little shoop through these, maybe a little pokeroony. This was our they all look a bit boring now that I'm going through again. They all look a little bit dull to me, actually. This was our swamp one with our Therizinosaurus. This was the burnt out one. You can see I don't have that mod installed, so this one looks more boring. Right, so if we hop into the middle here, I've set up like a little arena exhibit kind of thing, and over here we have Vastatosaurus Rex, of course, from King Kong 2005. This is not part of today's mod. This is part of Mastodon's Skull Island pack, which is a fantastic mod pack that we have showcased on the channel before. Adds 4 different animals from Skull Island. We're gonna give it something to play with today. Now this might not work, I'm not gonna pretend otherwise, but let's see what we can do. We're gonna release another species into this exhibit. Pops out making his dinosaur calls, but this very cool mod is Megaprimatus Kong, made by, of course, Yosper. Kind of like a natural, that's a hell of a lot of booty. Kind of a natural evolution of the Australopithecus mod that we saw the other day. It's absolutely caked up, as they say. I believe this is rigged on an iguanodon, so it is going to be kind of fearful of the Vastatosaurus, but it is, you know what, actually to that end, let's just move Vastatosaurus out temporarily. You can go live in the lagoon. That's not going to work, is it? Well, you're living in the lagoon now. I'm not sure how that's working, but you're living in the lagoon. Let's take a look at Kong. So anyway, this is a really cool mod. It comes with various colours and stuff like that, and unfortunately, because it's an iguanodon, it means my original plan for this, which was to have them to fight, probably won't work. We're going to try that out anyway. I want to see the V-Rex hunt Kong down, and there is something else we can do, which I'll show you in just a second as part of this mod. But I just want a good look at this. This is actually really impressive. When it's sprinting, it looks a little bit wild, but when it's walking around like this, I think it's really good. I think it's very impressive how much that is moving like a giant ape would. Like, this looks like it's been pulled right out of Peter Jackson's King Kong 05, my beloved. It's really impressive in that regard, how this is on a dinosaur rig, and yet moves around quadrupedally like this with the arms stuck out and the inner legs like that, and it properly looks like it's moving like a giant ape, which is pretty awesome. Now, there's something else we can do. Something else we can do as part of this mod. We're going to hop into the hatchery when it wants to let me do anything. There we go. We're going to hop into the hatchery. We're going to go to our Kong again. So as you can see, this is Megaprimatus Kong. And we can pick all our skin colours. But as you can see, there is also a body variant. So not only do we have our quadrupedal King Kong 05 version, but we've also got a Monsterverse version of this same animal. I'm just going to set this to random, I think. How many do we get in this one? Yeah, we still get 2. So we're going to pop this out as well and see what this one is like. And we'll release 2 this time. And just see how the Monsterverse version, which should be more bipedal, of course, you know, Kong in the films, in say Skull Island, doesn't really wander around on 4 legs that often. He's mainly trotting around upright. Let's have a look at this. So maybe slightly more awkward, but you can see I think it's on the same sort of movement rig as the Australopithecus was, in the way that it's moving around. Let me just turn you into the light so we can get a good look at you. There he is. That is Kong from the Monsterverse. So I think it might be the same model. Let's grab our other Kong. Okay, well, just to grab my thumbnail screenshot, I will say, when you compare the two next to each other just like this, you can see some pretty sizable differences. Again, the head shape in particular is vastly different, but you can see that the face itself has been remodeled. The Kong 05 in particular, I think, looks very strongly, distinctly like Kong 05. The one on the right, I think, is more the Australopithecus maybe scaled up, but either way, it's pretty cool. They are demonstrably different. Yospers clearly put some decent work into this, and of course they are fully fur shaded as well, which is awesome. Anyways, just thought I'd show you that comparison, because they it's like, don't talk to me or my son ever again, but the sun is massive, basically. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. You could make like a really interesting mixed habitat with these two. You could pretend that they are the same species or the same whatever, and you know, one of them prefers to walk bipedally and one of them prefers to wander around. You two gonna try to social animation. You two cannot social animation, okay? I mean, that kind of worked. I'm not sure how that kind of worked, but it did kind of work. Okay, very interesting. How you doing over here, buddy? So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more wiggly wobbly. It looks like he's, you know, knocked back a few, basically, the bipedal version. But the quadrupedal one works really well, and the bipedal one is still pretty awesome. I love the idea of combining this with the Australopithecus mod that we saw the other week as well, and kind of having this giant ape, small ape combined habitat. Now, this isn't really enough for a video all on its lonesome, so I do want to stick the V-Rex in here. Of course, that's the most appropriate thing, the Hunter Kong, at least out of the things we have in the game. I just want to show you the Kong, the bipedal Kongs in particular, as they run around in fast speed are... I just want Benny Hill music playing over the top of them. Okay, maybe we're about to get combat. The V-Rex is just squared up to Kong. Are they gonna fight? I'm really curious to see how this looks. Oh. Oh. Okay, it didn't quite work out then. I never really expect modded against modded to work out at all. Even modded against regular tends to be a little bit busted, if I'm honest. But, slight disaster there, to say the least. It's Kong just pretending to be a member of the park. Just a guest, just having a lovely time. You know, most of them don't seem to care. Just walks on past. He's just a large, hairy park guest living his best life. You know, he wants to go check out the biodomes. Who wouldn't? There we go. That's what I want. That's proper King Kong 05 kind of stuff there. Now it's going to go very badly for Kong, I'm sure, but still, just aesthetically, that looks awesome. Look at it. Down he goes. But still, Kong and the V-Rex squaring up to each other. Absolute dream come true. It's a shame they can't actually fight. But hey, you never know. Maybe when Evolution 3 comes out, we'll break boundaries of animation and rigging and stuff all over again, and things will develop even further. People have done more with Evolution 2 than they could ever do with Evolution 1, so there's always progress to be made. Oh, sorry, Kong. Cause it's Thriller. I'm not sure what was going on there. I wanted to see if Kong could be pack hunted by the Velociraptors, but they did a very strange little dance instead. Apparently that felt more appropriate. Who knows? Either way, right, so that's the mod. It's very, very cool. Obviously, I would have liked to show you a few more mods, but there wasn't much else knocking around. But I think this one's got a lot of opportunity just to make very cool themed habitats, to do something maybe themed on Monsterverse King Kong, or themed on, obviously, on King Kong 05. It is worth noting that Peter Jackson's King Kong has several mods out there, and there really isn't anything for the Skull Island Monsterverse ones. So this is, I believe, our first Monsterverse addition to the game, which is pretty sweet, unless I'm missing some out there. I'd love one day to have like the Mutos wandering around and have a proper Godzilla mod and all this jazz. Yosba, if you're watching, can I commission you to make Godzilla? We'll chat. Right, either way, definitely check out the mod down below. Later on this week, we'll be hopefully starting a new park build. I've got something that we've been planning for years. You might know what it is based on just that description. I think we're going to do an unmodded park build, as crazy as that might seem. We'll see how things go and get planning this week. Until then, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks very, very soon. From me and from Kong, thanks for joining me. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.